You're watching this week's show with Dan and Mike.
This week's show.
Hello, we're back.
In the podcast studio, we survived download. Which felt like it was the two extremes that we've come to expect from download, but in one weekend.
How do you mean?
So we had extreme rain, especially for our journey up.
Yeah, but then when we got there, we brought the sunshine out.
And it was roasting, and then it got like that a few times over the weekend where if it rained, it was torrential for like half an hour.
Not even that.
And then just cleared up again and roasting sunshine. It was
perfect weather.
Yeah, it was very strange, but we had such a blast, admittedly, because we get to hide in the press tent when the rain gets a little bit wild. As everybody, I think, that was outside in the press area came inside.
All came hurtling in at one stage, didn't they? It's like, oh, it's going to get noisy in here.
But we made new friends, saw old friends.
Yeah, saw
really
a lot
good.
of bands.
Actually, more, I think, than we've done in years, which was incredible. Obviously, we've just launched our blog of everything that we did get to see, because we tried to film everything that we actually went out and saw.
So, just once you finish watching this, go back and watch everything that's up on our YouTube.
But we thought we'd pass a few opinions on things that that happened. Favourite main stage headliner for you? No surprises, I think, off of this one.
Well, it wasn't Sleep Token.
It was not Sleep Token.
No. It's a tough one, because it's like, I've seen Korn a million times, and it was nice to see them headline finally.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen Green Day live, and I thoroughly enjoyed them, so it's tight between Green Day and Korn.
I'm very much on the Green Day side of things. In many ways, it didn't feel that different from 2004, 21 years ago, when I saw them at my first ever festival, which was Reading Festival.
Just with a few more hits.
With a few more hits, but largely similar ones, because they were on the American Idiot tour back then. I think it had just dropped like around that time. So we got the same, like Boulevard of Broken Dreams, American Idiot itself, Wake Me Up When September Ends.
And that's when it started raining.
Yeah, but it was incredible. Like I don't see how they've diminished with age in the slightest. I was seeing some people saying that it's not as good as they used to be.
No,
and it's like
so much energy.
Yeah, and compared to some people of their age, they're still bringing the same live performance energy that.
And the audience were really mad for it as well. They were bouncing around all over the place.
100%. I'd say it was between them and Korn for main stage energy, because
I think Korn had more energy because people were feeling lackluster from the night before.
A little bit, and
there was definitely no movement in the crowd. It was like being at Boomtown, when we thought we could film as far down in the front as we could without getting squashed, and we got all the way down to the barrier because ravers dance. Yeah. Well, Sleep Token fans just go.
They sway.
They sway gently.
They sway.
Wallow in their melancholy, and it's just like. But the stage show for Sleep Token was amazing. If you were square on, you could see the whole stage, and the screens that they incorporated was great. But if you were off to the sides, you couldn't see much because the screens were like, oh.
We've seen bad main stage performances when people have got big quickly. No offense to the guy, because he's resolved it since, but we watched Post Malone headline Reading. Without much different to the year before when he was on a much lower slot. It was just him, and like there wasn't even much going on the screens apart from for Rockstar, where I think they had flames on the screens. So fair play to the Sleep Token production crew, because
it was immense.
Yeah, it didn't feel like you were watching the first time they had headlined a festival of that size in the UK.
No.
They really came professional. And if you're a Sleep Token fan, we are more professional fans. We find them interesting. We find a few tracks good. Nothing against them. I've always been a metalcore kid. You've been somewhere between a metalcore and a hardcore kid.
Both with new metal influences.
Exactly. And so for us, we like an energetic sort of party headliner, I would say, is probably more our personal taste. But for those people that are into Sleep Token, the feedback from fans was it was the best thing that they had ever been to.
Of course, they were worshipping.
Exactly. So that was cool.
Best non-headliner.
Best non-headliner. That is a tricky one, because I really enjoy quite a few bands. Like Jimmy Eat World was quite fun to watch. We got one of my favourite tracks.
Yes, we did.
Well, actually, we got pretty much all of my favourite tracks from them.
All 3 of them.
Yeah. Weezer again put on an absolutely stunning performance. It's going to be the answer that you're expecting is probably Bullet.
Surprise. But we had already seen that exact show on the opening night of the tour.
True, but there was something, because it's, they said it last time in the UK, but I think based on all the things that have happened with the tour, it's probably the last time that they're ever going to play The Poison in full.
I'd imagine so.
So the show, which is me and Mike and our manager, we all went to the starting night of the Poison Descendancy tour in Cardiff.
Just search back on our reactions on YouTube, because
we
first podcast we did was about that tour.
Yep, and that was phenomenal. And then to weirdly kind of bookend it by getting the last time that they had played it as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
That was really fun. They talked a big game on stage. Matt still has his sights set on headlining Download within the next few years.
I can see it happening if they sell the tickets.
Well, they're going back into the studio.
Yeah.
You got an exclusive from old Jamie, the bassist and backing vocalist of Bullet.
They've got about 12 songs demoed already.
Which, like, I'm on one of those nerds with Bullet. When they release the bigger version, the deluxe version of an album, often they include demos of tracks that never got full production on them. One thing that's quite interesting is Matt sings very differently on demos to what he does on a full produced album, because I don't think he knows what he wants the song to like strictly sound like. And
you don't want to go full pelt.
No, not on a demo.
Break your voice on a demo.
So I would love to get my hands on those 12 tracks that they have demoed so far.
A lot of people would.
But they know, this is the thing is, you know you're getting a good show, excuse me, from Bullet when they're going to be playing anywhere. Is that I've never seen like sort of them do lackluster or unprofessional. Is you're always going to get a solid near headline performance. I still think that they deserve the headline slot at Download from how long they've been playing it, how big they are as a UK band.
They are now edging into that legacy era age of band,
100%.
20, 25 years.
And all of them are, they're all looking after themselves. Like, I am amazed at how old Padgy looks when he's walking around the press area. And then how much he's sprinting around stage, like he's still...
Very sprightly.
Yeah, like he's still an 18-year-old, and, we've never lost Hench Mac Tuck from when he decided to go Hench. But what's really lovely as well is we've been friends with Jamie, as your interview says, since he was in Revoker, because he wasn't one of the founding members of Bullet.
No.
And what's been really nice is watching him get more and more comfortable and more okay with the role that he plays in Bullet. Because it was a big change for him.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Like, Revoker were on their way up, but they weren't at like sort of, oh, you've got to headline 2,000 Trees, be main supporter, Download, go on a 20th anniversary tour.
World tours, and he's been with them for 10 years now. So
yeah, which is, again, insane. It's wonderful to see, like, the live show as well. One thing I really like is that Matt, for all the controversy that people say about him, he gives so many moments to Jamie being the other vocalist, so that when there's like a key vocal line to get everybody to sing along to, I'm thinking like all those things I hate about, it's Jamie that sings the first verse of the chorus. And I think that shows the way that Matt regards his band members. Is it's not like he might have written it, he might be the one that often says yes or no to things, but he makes sure that all of the band are equally involved. He's not, what I like is for a guy that is so driven and so ambitious, he's not egocentric, at least on the live performance. I don't know what he's like behind the scenes, but his live performance, which is what we're here to talk about, it's so balanced. However, I would say that Crossfaith were coming in a close second
they were
for
good,
non-headliner favourite.
I managed to catch the secret set guest that was kind of leaked beforehand, but Malevolence.
And it was
just carnage in that marquee. It was absolute brutal.
Again, on the blog, you can see, or some of the TikTok vlogs that we did on the weekend itself, you can see the amount of crowd surfing that's going on at that gig.
Yeah, it was just endless. I saw a photo of one of the clickers and it was like over 1,000.
Something incredible like that. So
well over 1,000. It was, insane. They were only on for like half an hour.
Yeah. But one thing that was really lovely is getting to walk around a bit more, like reminded us the bits that we've forgotten when we've done heavy press duty and not been able to leave for the arena as much is, we ran into the evil Pikachu from... I can't remember.
Market stall, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll put their name and link below, but that was all to do with the brand that was there. Just the silliness as well. I saw like 3 Jesuses.
At least.
Blessing people.
I saw the infamous t-shirt, but it had been changed to Jesus is a cat.
Yeah, loved that. That was brilliant. Shout out for a special moment from Bleed From Within, bringing the bagpipes out on stage.
Very Scottish.
But also we got a very personal performance in the press area from the bagpipes as well. They
disturbed everyone's interviews.
It was fantastic. But no, it was great. We loved being able to see our friends in press like get successful as well. There's some really good interviews from people that we work alongside, as well as shout out the heavy metal hairdresser.
Did my hair nice and good.
Like, he's got such a wicked sense of humour. We've done a whole bit in the blog where Mike's getting his hair cut, which is not the most necessary thing.
It was very necessary and needed because I had some important information and I wanted to look good on camera.
But then to find out that he's also doing, Spirit Box and the headliners.
He had his zhuzh on Jonathan Davis from Korn's hair at one stage by the looks of it.
It looks like he also refaded Matt Tuck's fade as well.
Nice.
But genuinely, what you see online of this guy is actually what his personality's like. He's one of the loveliest dudes going, and more credit to him that he's getting his 2 main interests being music and his career actually pushing him forward and able to do that for people.
He really needs to turn up at one of those glam metal festivals because they're all about the hair.
I mean, I'm not sure that he would be able to bring it on site enough hairspray if he did that.
That would be one of those industrial things that we walked along that was full of propane for the flames on stage.
100%.
There was a lot of flames on stage all through the day.
Yeah, no, pyro was pyro this, particularly when you went to see Hatebreed.
That was insane.
What's lovely.
And I came out, not quite mosh retirement, but I was definitely right in the pit when it was kicking off. But
you came out of pit retirement, not quite mosh retirement.
Yeah, because of where I located to film, and then the pit explodes around you. It's just like,
it's nuts.
I'm just going to stay still and let people bounce into me. I'll be that guy.
That was great. It was also lovely to see Jamie Jaster with as much energy as he had on stage.
That's because he's cut all his hair off now. He's slightly lighter.
Oh, he can whip the skull back and forth.
Yeah, and he's trimmed up his beard. He was looking rather dapper when I was chatting to him.
And that's good because long before we decided to do a podcast, we listened to the Jaster podcast on quite a few journeys back. We've had some quite...
I listened to them all at one stage.
Yeah.
I listened to about 600, I think, in one after the other, and I was just like, I need to have a break from this.
And that's why you got into other ones.
Yeah, there are other podcasts out there, but ours is the best. So
obviously, but no, it was absolutely awesome.
Talking of podcasts,
yes.
Shout out Sapnin because they were kicking ass this weekend.
And if you go back to some of the stuff that we did last year with Sean Smith, that dude is like the funniest guy in the world.
Yeah, he just never turns it off.
He's always in the moment. And
I saw him taking 5 minutes just lie down on on the sofas. He was like texting away. I was like, "Oh, you having a break?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm still on it. He's like, he's uploading and doing what we do. It's just like, yeah, we're relaxing the body, but we're...
Oh yeah, no, all of those times that anybody walked into the press area and saw us sat down, it wasn't a lack of working, it just was a lack of interviewing at that particular point in time.
All you guys do is sit down and play on your phones all day. It's like, yeah, but we've got like 100,000 views off of that, so...
It's actually, as of this morning, just before we recorded it, we're, for our coverage of Download, we're more like 250,000 now, and it's...
What?
Yeah. I mean, it's creeping up every time that we get something online, and we still got plenty left to get online as well. So
wow.
Yeah, crazy, right?
So download's not over for us.
Download is not over.
We've still got another radio show. We've put one out whilst we're backstage. We've got another one at the end of the week. Yeah, the official highlights one with big interviews, because we saved the bigger ones back for our highlight show, not our backstage show. And we might even have enough interviews to do a whole nother radio show as well.
But we wanted to jump on and in the week after it, just get like opinions out so that it didn't get too out of date on what we were thinking. Mostly because I don't want to get distracted by life, because I don't know if you found that come out of download and you go back into, like, I've been chained to my laptop and...
Oh, I don't start back to work till tomorrow, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
I've had time. I've caught up with everything I've missed, like online over the weekend. And I've just watched Raw.
Ah, yes, Raw, which there were some notable points that came out of Raw.
Yeah.
Because
my poor little Liv.
Brutal. What happened to her on the shoulder dislocation.
She dislocated her shoulder, but it wasn't in a move. She was protecting herself from going face first into the floor. So she put her hand down, and just the angle that she was at or something. And
I mean, Liv does throw herself about.
She's a gobby little mare, isn't she?
Well, that, and she does that as a performance as well, where everything is quite scrappy and quite like, she's almost like a version of Dolph Ziggler from back in the day, because he would sell everything like he had just been run over by a truck, and Liv tends to do the same type of selling. This was not selling. That scream was genuinely real.
So get well soon.
Yes. Hopefully we'll find out what's happening with regards to her and Queen of the Ring moving forward, but I don't think it's been announced at the point that we're recording it. No. Also lovely to see Anushka come back.
Although her makeup didn't last very long. She took the mask off and the makeup was immaculate, and then within the first 2 moves it was just like...
Yeah, that tends to happen though, like most
just spray
of them.
It with hairspray, even I know that.
Although I'm not sure if it's that mask or our next one, but it's the same person that designed Bray Wyatt's mask. The Fiend mask has done her current one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, we now have quite the interesting situation where the 2 people that teamed up at main event, being Cody and Jay, now have to face each other for the tournament of King of the Ring to see who gets through on that. So that's also going to be quite a show, because when wrestlers know each other that well but have to go against each other, normally that creates quite a notable match. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing that and seeing what that actually does on screen. And then something that caught, I think, a lot of people off guard is Goldberg.
Back.
He's back.
With his little grey beard.
Though this time Goldberg, like, we love Gunther. Yes, he plays a really great heel, but we actually love Gunther, so don't knock yourself out before your match with him like you did with The Undertaker, because that's hilarious. That one of the reasons why he had one of his most dangerous matches is he doesn't want to come out without the intensity that his character deserves. So back when he was doing it more regularly in like previous wrestling companies, not like the sort of Legends run that he's doing now, one of the things he would do is headbutt a door to get his intensity up. Problem is that he was out of practice on headbutting the door, so when he had to face Undertaker, he knocked himself silly before coming out and was concussed the whole way through the match.
CTE, it's
dangerous. It's a dangerous thing, and it's one of the worst moves I've ever seen Undertaker take, where genuinely, if it wasn't Undertaker, I think the neck would have probably been in a lot worse condition, whereas Undertaker, for some reason, is just one of those genetic hard men, you know? A bit like Stone Cold, can just take an absolute beating.
Yeah.
He came back to face Kevin Owens and they did a suplex onto the concrete at his age. I mean, some people are just insane. So I'm really curious to see what a Goldberg-Gunther match actually looks like, because...
We'll find out next weekend.
Pretty much, and there's a little part of me as well that just wants to see Gunther slap the shit out of Goldberg as well. Sorry, chop him to pieces. But that's going to be super fun to watch either way. I still think, now that we have Punk shaping up to be the next opponent for Cena, I still think that we're looking at potentially Roman or Cody being, towards the end of the year, the one that takes the title back off of John Cena. Though I love the way that they've worked into the Seth storyline, where he's saying, well, no, Seth wants me, not going to cash in on me, because if I leave with the title, then Seth is in charge of the entire company with the one remaining title. So they're doing some very, very clever stuff. But I genuinely sat there just cheering the screen on SmackDown when CM Punk did, what was it, like a 10-minute promo against John Cena that relates back 10 years to when
they've got beef.
Yeah, when Punk left, because the famous pipe bomb promo that where Punk sat down, broke the fourth wall, broke kayfabe, basically put the whole company on blast until they cut his microphone off, was with John Cena in the ring. And what's hilarious is that John Cena clearly loves the promo, loves the banter, loves Punk, because it's one of the only times since he's turned heel that he's actually smiling in the ring. And I love that, because it's not like breaking character, but those two have such a rich history, and it was the point where Punk managed to point out that he's now the company guy, and Cena's now what Punk used to be.
Swap places.
Yeah, and there was one line, he was like, you're just following the CM Punk playbook, and you're going to leave the company with the title like I did. And you can see John Cena is genuinely just amused at what he's saying. So this is such a great time for wrestling, because whether or not you realise how these things are working, is they are still keeping the history. They're working things back into what they did before. We've got heel Ron Killings as well that came out and attacked Cena, which is brilliant, and I can't wait to see what he does whilst he's not being R-Truth and he's being Ron Killings. That seems to have started well, and he looks so intense without the hair. Like, it's crazy. So
exciting times ahead.
Very much looking forward to it. We're not sure actually at the moment, because we're just like literally been wrapping up the download stuff, what type of podcast we're going to bring next week. We can dip back into Album Club if we need to, or a deep dive.
Just follow us on our socials.
We've got so much to delve into. So for the moment, I think that's everything that we wanted to cover for this week.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you everybody that gave us 250,000 views on our coverage of Download. We're hoping to pull off the same for a few more festivals this year. So make sure that you stay tuned and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube.
Whoop whoop.
Thank you for watching our sum up about Download. Genuinely, we had the best time. It's probably been our most successful download. So we just want to thank you guys for being a part of it, really. And decided after we'd finished recording that one that what we're actually going to do next week, because we had so much fun doing it last year, is our predictions for Download next year. Rather than doing one each, we're going to argue and scrap between now and the next podcast as to who, like the one list that we can do together and who gets to decide what. I think we might actually agree about headliners. So make sure you tune in next week for our Download 2026 predictions.